You've said that India under Modi is wrongly portrayed as a fascist state. And you said Indian intellectuals are fueling that narrative
Yes.
about the country.
The people who are vilifying India on the international stage are primarily India's own intellectuals. Our knowledge of India comes from a relatively small number of highly elite intellectuals who have access to publications, Western publications like the New York Times, Washington Post, Wall Street Journal. They write op-eds in these publications. If you read anything about the RSS, now everyone in India knows what the RSS is. You can like the RSS, dislike the RSS. I can take it or leave it. I'm obviously not a Sanghi. I'm an American, an American intellectual. If you read any Western portrayal of the RSS, they will say it is an ultra right-wing paramilitary organization.
Right.
Now, the RSS is a conservative organization. It's nationalist. It's certainly not a paramilitary organization. There are no arms in the RSS. But people will say, well, they've exercised with Lathis. Well, that's not the same as exercising with AK-47s. Let's face it. But when Indian intellectuals call the RSS a right-wing paramilitary organization, what we imagine as people in Australia or the United States, we imagine terrorists with AK-47s.
Sure.
That's we imagine people or people in uniforms. We imagine black shirts in Mussolini's Italy or brown shirts in Hitler's Germany, going around beating up people who belong to other, beating up communists and beating up liberals. I mean, journalists for major Indian newspapers are not being beaten on the streets every day by gangs of RSS youth. In fact, most of the RSS people I've met are overweight middle-aged men who could use some Lathi training. This wild exaggeration of the threats people feel they face in India becomes just what we accept as the truth in the West.
The key to Modi's longevity is perhaps the more complex political milieu of India with its many cleavages. The only constant in Modi brand of politics is its Islamophobia. Now, this is what it is that, the intellectuals that you were talking about, they tend to fall back on this Islamophobia part of the RSS and of Modi in particular.
It's the one insult you can hurl at people, and so it gets hurled all the time. It's like in America being called a racist. Everyone's called a racist in America, so much so that we now just ignore it. And in the same way, you can be called Islamophobic in India, and that's an insult you can hurl at anybody. You could take the same facts, and I've been reading dozens of books on Indian politics in the last couple of years, and I see the same facts repeated all the time. It's putting different words to those facts. So if instead I said the BJP is a traditionalist party that is strongly embedded in organic civil society, that works to reduce caste and class differences among Hindus in order to build greater solidarity within Indian civil society, that would be the same account, just from a different perspective. Is the BJP more a Hindu party than a Muslim party? Of course it's more a Hindu party than a Muslim party. And in a country where parties do tend to be communal, the BJP is probably one of the less communal parties in the country. Less communal in the sense that they are not, they may work at that fault line between Hindu and Muslim society. They are explicitly working to unite Hindu society. They have language that is accommodating of other religions. They don't seek to exclude. Now, if you are Hinduphobic in India, might you vote for the BJP because of your Hinduphobia? You might. But if you're racist in America, you might vote Republican because you're certainly not going to vote Democrat.
Yeah.
That doesn't make the Republican Party racist, the fact that somebody who's racist might vote for them. And in the same way, the fact that someone who is Islamophobic might vote BJP doesn't make them Islamophobic.
Click here to watch the full episode.